All right. So here's a little bit about which pathway is right for you with Spanish Gap Year. So, with Spanish Gap Year, we have structured high support experiences. We're going to talk a little bit about our gap semesters abroad and then also about our internship and volunteering experiences here in Spain. So to get into just to begin here, we are an accredited program through the Gap Year Association. That means that we've met those standards with safety, we've met those standards with creating an educational experience abroad. We also won the Go Overseas Award in 2022, and we are also a partner agency of España and Español en España, which is an organization called FEDELE here in Spain, which pretty much just means that we are committed to teaching people Spanish in Spain and having them truly learn the language while they're here abroad, along with other languages, which we'll get into later. Um, Here, we'll talk a little bit about our gap semesters, a little bit about internship and volunteering placements, and then we'll have a little bit of time for questions and answers before we head out here today. So for the gap semesters in Spain, those are for ages 18 to 22. So this is an all-inclusive program, 1 month of traveling Spain by train. We say Spain by train not only because it is really a good rhyme, but also because it's part of our sustainability part as well. So we follow the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, and traveling Spain by train allows us to explore Spain with students while also staying sustainable. And then we have 2 months in Barcelona where you dive into your pathways. So throughout these 3 months, you can opt in to earn up to 12 college credits. So academic partnerships, these are courses like leadership, internships, courses about volunteering. You also build your resumes throughout either your internship or volunteering experiences, which we'll get into later with the pathways. And we have some personalized options. And throughout it, of course, lots of support and coaching throughout the time so that you feel like it's a good experience throughout. So I'll go through this one a little bit quick. So here, let's imagine you are coming on a gap year semester this fall in Spain. What are you going to do? You are going to land in Madrid. We are going to pick you up from the airport. You will spend 1 night in Madrid, all with the students in in a hotel before we move on to the next city. So this is kind of the night to reset, take 1 night, get over the jet lag a little bit, and then get on with the adventure. And then we're going to be traveling to 4 different cities, staying in 4 different host families, doing Spanish classes in the morning, cultural activities in the evenings. So the first city we're moving to is San Sebastian. San Sebastian, we're going to be staying with host families there, the País Vasco. So they do speak Spanish, but they also speak a local language called Basque or Euskera. So we'll be teaching you a little bit of Basque while we're there in the region. And we'll be doing some activities like hiking to a viewpoint, going to museums, and also we'll be doing some fun outdoor adventures. Like sometimes we do horseback riding and river cruises. And then we'll be doing a day trip to Hendaia, France, where we will be having have a day of surfing as well. So check off another country off the list. And then we'll be doing a similar thing in Salamanca, Spanish classes in the daytimes, host families, and activities in the afternoons. And of course, all the activities are tailored to the city. For example, in San Sebastian, we would take you hiking, but your butt would hurt so much because of all of the hills. So we choose to instead take you hiking in biking in Salamanca because it's a little bit easier to get around with on a bike. And then we take a day trip to Miranda de Douro, Portugal. You learn about the Mirandés, endangered species of donkeys there. We visit the donkey sanctuary, take a river cruise, and you learn about the River Douro and all the different wildlife associated. And then we do a week in Madrid with host families there with the Spanish classes, get to know the big city, get to learn how to use a metro, which I promise is not as hard as it sounds. And then we move on to Seville, which is in Andalusia. And there we'll learn a little bit about Andalusian cooking. We'll learn about flamenco, the dance, and we'll take a day trip over to Cadiz. And then after all of that, in only 1 month, we move on to Barcelona, where we dive into our pathways. We have 3 different pathways in Spanish Gap Year. The first pathway is what we call the career builder. So this is our internship pathway. This is a full-time internship in the industry of your choosing. This is the best for hands-on job experience if you really want to dive deep into one industry that you're really passionate about. And of course, you're still hanging out with the whole group, no matter their pathways, so that you can get the best experience with Spanish classes, cultural activities, etc. Second pathway we offer here, it's called the Future Leaders Pathway. This is our entrepreneurial pathway. This you still do a part-time internship in the industry of your choosing, but then in the afternoons, you're in an entrepreneurship case competition. So this is where you're going to be in groups of international students from all over the world here in Barcelona, studying different things who are here to learn about entrepreneurship. And you do this competition where you learn about a little bit about how to start up your own business. You learn a little bit about innovation, and then you come up with your own idea, your own business idea, and you turn it into a reality. You create that actual business and you pitch it to a group of investors with your team. And the winning group gets a 1,000 euro investment into their company, and they also all get the chance to pitch to real investors, and many of them walk away with offers from those investors, just like Shark Tank. So we've had students in the past get offers of up to 40,000 euros for their business ideas. And of course, they're all also still with the same students, Spanish classes, cultural activities, everything. So getting to hear about the career builders telling the future leaders what they did that day and vice versa is always such a fun experience for me. And then our third pathway option is the creative innovators. So this is the personalized pathway. This is kind of the make it your own. If you want to do volunteering, you can do volunteering. You can do volunteering plus sports. You can do creative classes plus volunteering. You can do an internship plus sports. It's really however you want to make it. So that's a little bit about the three pathways. So like I said before, the career builders is really just about the people who want to explore their future pathways. Some photos of some of the past students who've done that one. That one was Sophie. And then here's a little bit of info about one of the students who did that pathway. Her name was Sophie. She did a biological engineering internship here in Barcelona. She got to do very cool experiments on organ on a chip systems. She was able to even help out with research papers, testing solutions, and she also had the opportunity to compete in a hackathon where she won funding for her idea and was invited back to continue her research with the company through a continued internship. So many of the students who get internships here with Spanish Gap Year will sometimes be invited back to those companies to continue their internships later. Um, and then a little bit about a future leaders pathway. Or here, those are some of the photos of the investor pitch of when they do that with the company. We always have like a fancy camera come onto it to take those photos, and I think it looks so cool. It's always so exciting. They're always very nervous, but very happy nerves, I think. So for an example, Maya, for example, did a marketing internship in the morning, and then she was on the entrepreneurship pathway in the afternoons, and they created an idea called Next Gen, which is a community of university students there in Barcelona. Because in Europe, they don't have the community feel as much in universities. So a lot of the students are looking for that sense of community. So she was able to develop her sustainable business idea and they won the investment prize through it. So that's pretty cool. And then for the creative innovators, some photos of different things that they've done in the past. For example, one thing that you could do with the creative innovators, of course, there's so many options, but one option is that you could do internship in the mornings in something such as sustainability and then photography classes in the evenings. So that's a little bit about that. And just some random little photos here. But what if you have a student that wants the internship or the volunteer experience without the full program? They love the idea of traveling Spain, but they want to do it themselves. They want to have the internship, they want to do the volunteering, and they want to pick their own dates for it. They want to maybe do it for 2 months in the summer, and they want to figure out how they're going to, they want a little bit more independence in that sense. We have placements for all ages for internship and volunteer placements in Barcelona. So this is a guaranteed placement before arrival with our personalized matching process. flexible dates, and then also access to additional services. If you want to find your own accommodation, you can go ahead and do that, or you can ask us and we can help you with that. If you want to have language classes, we can help you out and have you have language classes with our partner schools in Barcelona, emergency support, and much, much more. So if you are like, oh goodness, I want to volunteer at an animal sanctuary, but how do I even find that? We can find that for you. So you can choose your start date and we help you out with that. So you tell us your top three industries or volunteering types. We place you with one of your top three types, and then you arrive. And you choose your start date, or you choose your start date at the beginning. And you can opt into any optional services as well. So if you were like, oh my goodness, this sounds so cool, but what even would I do for an industry? That's a great question. We have lists that go on and on and on and on and on. And I think that I needed to cut them down in order to even fit them on this slide. But um, pretty much this is just to show that we have there's so many amazing companies in Barcelona. And here we'll give you a little bit of a snapshot into it, but I really want you to hone in on sailing and theater. And think about how odd and niche that sounds for an internship. There are dozens more of where those come from that we just haven't found a student yet who wants it and then been able to place it with them and then added it to the list. So if you have a student who's really interested in something niche, let us know. And more likely than not, we can find an awesome company in Barcelona because it's just one of those cities where you look and you find everything that you're looking for. Um, so, for example, this was Milo. He did a theater and stage management internship. He was able to assist the directors during rehearsals. He helped with stage management. He even actually wrote a play for the company before he started, and they were able to do a reading of the play because he was so excited about his internship. So yeah, very, very cool. It was a fully English speaking theater. And yeah, just one of the opportunities. And then for volunteering, again, so many opportunities for that. Really, whatever you are interested in. I think one of the best ways to understand volunteering and how we place people with it is with Bella. So Bella came to us saying, hey, I really want to become a veterinary technician, but I don't want to do an internship. I want to do something that's really going to make an impact on the community of Barcelona. Can you find something volunteering related that will get me experience for becoming a veterinary technician? So we found her something with horses. She told me, she also said, I really love working with special needs youth. So we found something with horses where there's a very awesome nonprofit organization in Barcelona that does experiences for children with special needs to be able to play with and ride horses in order to learn about social skills. And so yeah, she was able to help them with horse care, assisting with feeding, grooming, and it helped for her resume going into vet tech school. So that's a little bit about us. We also do other summer programs, and there's I could sit here and talk forever about all the support that we give and all of those different things, but I just wanted to make this one more about what we do in terms of how we personalize our experiences based off of the students. So thank you so much for listening to my what's it called?